Pisces, how you getting on? Jupiter X. X marks the spot. X is back. Jupiter. Someone could have Capricorn in Jupiter. Something doesn't spell right or smell. Okay, well that's me. I can't spell. But my spell didn't go right. Things didn't quite turn out the way I expected when I cast the spell in the first place. The spell didn't actually turn up. Because I'm picking up that something did turn up, but it wasn't quite what you expected, or it wasn't quite what they expected. And someone called someone in for a spell, or like for a smell of someone, like, man, I mean, what is this, around Virgo? Sorry. But like, I don't know, something doesn't smell, something smells fishy. It could be a Pisces, could be another one. But something doesn't smell right, and there's some sort of Scooby-Doo clue or something of like, well, I cast a spell, and because I cast a shadow over everybody, I don't know if I'm picking up on my iron lung of some kind of shadow on a lung. Young, the name Young, Adam and Eve, Gemini. Something doesn't quite smell right. Something isn't adding up. I cast a shadow on someone's lung, or I cast a shadow upon them, or I cast them. Cast them. Caston from Caston, Clacton or Caston, Cast. Cassie, the name Cassie. Anyway, so Jupiter X, it is an actual, believe it or not, Jupiter X is a synthesizer, a very nice one. Because I picked up winning a prize or winning something, okay, but also losing at the same time as well. So this is why you've got big references of Libra being here. Because I picked up like I'm either winning or I'm losing an AWOL or a Ray Al or Ray, Steve, Al, Steve, Al, Stevel, Stevel Knievel. But someone evil dead. So you've got resident evil, a resident's dead. Oh, okay. Someone's resident died. So I don't know, or relative died, or a resident died if you work in a hospital or a morgue or anything like this, because I'm hearing Scorpio references of like Evil Dead, of Scorpio, Capricorn, working in a place like a morgue or a hospital or a hotel or something like this, because I'm picking up that a resident died, a resident. Now, so obviously if you work at old people's home, that's where you would have a resident. So I don't know if this is your grandma or something like that. Okay. I can't tell if these are past, present or future. You're going to have to go with that one. But Roland X Jupiter. Rolex, like a Bolex, Michael, or Bolex or Rolex, like a fake watch or a fake person just turned up. And they thought that it was real, but it wasn't. And then they turned up and thought, no, that's fake. That is absolutely fake. That's not real. Whatever it is that you buy, it's like, well, I've just bought something and that's not even real. Or the X turned up and they're not real. It's like, this is unreal. How on earth did this person just turn up? It's kind of like, well, my spell worked, but it didn't work because I heard for a start that things don't spell right. Well, that's me because I'm dyslexic, so I can't spell me. But something doesn't, because I heard smell right, spell right, or Mr. Right or spell right. Like the spell didn't go right. It didn't go according to plan. Because I'm picking up doctor or mix and something mixed. Like you mixed something wrong. Or like, because I'm picking up different things. Because I mix and I do music obviously for Angel Radio. So something like that. And something around winning and losing and gaining. So you've kind of got like something doesn't add up, something isn't winning. Okay, hold on, Pisces. You got a few messages here. You've got a whining energy because I can hear this. No, 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 no. And I thought it was a dog, but it could be a cat, and that could be relating to either a physical animal or a star sign. But if it was, it would be a Leo, right? And you've caught. Oh, okay. Okay, serious stuff coming up, Pisces. I heard cot death for some reason. Why did I hear cot death? Cot death. I caught you to death. Is this a death sentence or something that's coming up very important around court? Or like, I caught you, I caught you, I caught you, I caught you, I caught you. Someone's caught someone like cheating, or caught someone doing something that they shouldn't be doing, and I caught you. But that's for you guys that have had an ex turning up. Because I had this, no, like someone's crying or begging for something, which is why I'm like a dog, like, or like a cat, which would be a Leo, and like begging and pleading. I don't know why I'm getting this beg you, I beg you, I beg you, I beg you, I beg you. I don't know why I'm hearing the word bigot, Biggie Smalls or something like that. But Roland Jupiter X is a synthesizer and it's a mix. And it's like mixing. Something isn't mixing right. And I'm hearing it's either a spell or something that you're putting into a mix and it just doesn't quite mix right. The sampling. I mean, that's a lot like I do. So I don't know if you've listened to Angel Radio and if you like it, which was the last one. But things are not mixing right. What is this around mixing? Because I keep hearing like a blender or Brenda or a mixer, or like blending things up and it isn't quite the right flavour or quite the right contrast of colours, or like, well, I'm definitely picking up some kind of like witchcraft of someone's spell didn't quite work out what they thought. They thought, well, I'm going to kind of do all of this stuff, and it didn't quite work out as much as you thought, or it did and it did turn up, but then you realised, oh, or they did. I've got no idea. I mean, that's witchcraft for you. You know, you turn up and you want someone, then you realise that you turn up and they don't want you. And you're kind of like, well, you just attracted yourself to me. I don't want you. What are you doing here? So you've kind of got this, look, you just turned up and I don't even want you. So why on earth did you just turn up? Because I don't know if somebody physically turned up in your energy, or physically Turner, the name Turner, or Tina. But like, someone just turned up and it didn't quite make sense, and you're like, well, this didn't work. Why did it not work? I wanted someone else. I thought that if I cast this spell, I would get everything, but then all of a sudden I got someone I didn't want. I got what I expected. Well, I got what I got. That's why I said in the extended of last month, be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. And then the person got it and they didn't want it. There you go. That's witchcraft for you. So I cast a spell, it didn't work. And then what did come back to me was a load more karma. So whoever this is definitely around Capricorn energy. I cast something out and I expected it was going to work, but it didn't. And then I got what I deserved, which was a loss. You lost, or they lost, I don't know. They lost someone. Either physically, I really feel like Spirit took a person. Like someone took a person. Now this is either you took me off them, or they took me off them. They took them away from me. Or this is either physically, or it's just like I turned up expecting that you were going to be with me, and you wasn't. You're actually with someone else. Because you've definitely got someone that is wandering and thinking, well, because I picked up on AWOL, right? Someone's gone AWOL. Someone's gone missing. So you got Virgo references. And things are not quite adding up because someone has gone missing. Like they've just gone missing completely, or they've just gone missing in action. Like they're not present. They're not here. Now that's either a spirit and someone really isn't here anymore, or it's kind of like love just doesn't live here anymore. Like there is no love anymore. There's no love in it. There's no love. There's no affection. So someone's going off someone and thinking, well, if you're gone off and you've gone run wild, then there's no love here. So what's the point? So you've kind of got that love doesn't even live here. So they don't live with you, this person. They don't live with you. They've just gone off and going off you. Or you're going off them. Or you're going off them. Something is very, very strange around someone ghosting someone here and trying to get someone's attention, but they're going off themselves. Like they're losing. This person seems to be as if they're losing everything. It's like, I've lost everything. I've lost this person, I've lost that person, and I've lost this, and I've lost the court case, and I've lost the children, and whatever this is, someone played too much of a game, or was playing too much of a game. That was the Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, not Catherine Zeta-Jones, the Michael Douglas The Game. And I stated references in that for the last 2 weeks, I think it was, over on Patron. And I said that someone is playing too much of a game, right? And because they're playing a game, they lost their own game. They lost the game. They're not gaining anything. They're losing everything. Meaning this person's in a very low vibration of where everything is happening, where I'm losing everything. I've lost. God, I mean, what? Physically everything? I mean, is this person with us anymore? Yes. So this is a physical person that seems to be losing everything, like lost to, well, you want to see a Gemini then, because they got everything. Sorry, but they got everything. They was like, well, I've got TV, I'll have this person, that person, that person, I'll pick 1, 2 and 3, it's like, oh, go on, I'll have all 3. So they're either physical objects, or you lost something to them, and they had a TV, they took the cooker, the microwave, the blender, the Witchcraft book, or everything, and they took everything off somebody, and it all just appeared on one hand here, and it all came out of someone else's hand. So I don't know what this is doing around witchcraft, of someone that thought that they were going to gain everything, and all of a sudden they did have it all, but then something wore off, like the feelings wore off, or the spell wore off, or whatever. I don't believe in it myself, but some people do, so I have to give you that. And it all wore off, and then it all went to the other person, where it's like, well, I've just lost everything. Well, if you're lost, then I'm gaining everything. Like, I'm gaining my freedom, I'm gaining popularity, God knows, like everything. And it happened around a Gemini reading, where it was, what's a hotspot, 1, 2 or 3? And it was like, well, I'll take all 3, or I'll take the small one, the medium and the large one, or I'll take like a Big Mac or a Tears or whatever, or a cake or a clown or something, and I'll take all of them, like all of them. So the clown was in the icon of Cancer, so you've kind of got a 7 or a Cancerian here, and you've kind of got this, well, if you're losing everything and you seem to be losing faith in me, well then I'm not losing faith, losing trust. You see, someone here is playing too much of a game where you don't trust this person anymore, or they don't trust you, either way, I don't know, but you seem to be in a definite pickle, in a jar, right, of around this, well, you're playing too much of a game, and if you want to play a game, then play it by yourself. It's like trying to play tennis on your own, and it's like, well, I'm trying to whip this ball over to you and get you to notice it, and it's just like, oh, I'm just going to let that just go straight by me. It's like, it's in one ear and straight out the other. So you could be dealing with a Gemini moon, right? And it's like, well, that's just straight in one ear and straight out the other. It's kind of like, well, I'm trying to get your attention. It's like, I'm trying to back this ball over to you, but you're not paying any attention to me. And you're kind of like, no, because I know that you're trying to get my attention. And I don't give attention to attention seekers. And if you're seeking for attention and you're doing it in a stupid, daft way, well, then you might as well just sit there and play on your own. And this is like a child of someone that plays childish games like Michael Douglas, The Game. Come on, let's play a game. And you're like, no, bruv, I don't like games. Now, this is either a mental game or it is a physical one. Where it's like, look, do you want to play, I don't know, cards? And you're like, no, bruv, I don't want to play cards. Do you want to play Monopoly? I'm not really into it. You know? Or like, do you want to play a game? Because it's kind of like this Cluedo thing. It's like sitting around, it's like, right, everybody, do you want to play a game? And you're like, bruv, what game is it? What game is it? Because someone's got game, right? They've got too much game. You know what game is, right? They've got too much gift, too much gab, or Abby, the name Abby, or Abigail. But they've got too much gift of the gab. And it's like, you've got too much of a gift. Why have you got all of the gifts? Why have you got all the presents? Why have you got the presence of a gift? Bruv, don't blame me. But like, why have you got the gift? Why is it that you got the gift of the gab? Why is it that you know how to turn everything around and focus it upon me and tell me that it's me? How come you always know? Well, that's where I get the blame for things. Because I always know. It's kind of, you know, well, why do you always think that you know? I told everybody, it doesn't matter which end of the scale it is that you're on. If you're a feminine or a masculine energy, you always get the blame. Everybody always gets the blame, right? So who is to blame? For one person having everything and for another person not. And this person thinking, oh, well, you've always got everything your own way. You have TVs, you have house, you have home, you have a, you know, somewhere stable to live, you have a stable person, you have a good job, you have good finances. Why is it that you have all these gifts and all these presents and you have, I don't know, the silver spoon in your mouth and all this kind of thing or whatever, and you have all of that and you have all these clients and you have all these people, but I don't. Why don't I have it? And this is the why don't you. It used to be a TV programme and I can't remember what happened in it. John, if you're watching, you used to know that, right? You're from Britain. Little Britain. But why don't you? So this is kind of, well, why don't you go and do something about it then? Why, you know, if you're sitting there like that and you're just sitting there down in the dumps, then why don't you go and do something about it? You know, why don't you do it yourself instead of keep blaming me? Why is it that you're always asking me? Why do you always put all of the stress and the burden upon me to know everything when I do know everything? And I'm telling you, but every time I have told you, you don't listen anyway. So what's the point in keep telling you of something that I know that you've got to go through yourself? And you can't find anything, so you're dealing with a Virgo. Virgo and Pisces, they're one of the most out there signs for me. Virgo, definitely Virgo. Sorry Virgos, I love you to death. But again, they're the most out there sign out there because they represent 9 as a Cancerian or a life path. Oh man, I'll get too complex with it all. But me, life path 7, Cancerian card, major arcana card. In, out, goes in one ear, goes in the other. I can't sit still, I get very fidgety. I'm always looking for a new direction, I'm always looking for more. Okay, I have addiction and everything else because I always feel like I want more, right? So I always have that driven focus on myself of 1 in 7, of always looking for a new direction, always can't sit still, always running around, leftwards and forwards, always doing favours for people, getting asked to drive here, getting asked to drive there. I'll do it, yeah, sure, I'll come, Rainbow. Hello, George, hello, Zippy. But like, I'll go over here and I'll do this and I'll do, you know, and I'll go and see you and I'll come and do this. And it's kind of like this, well, you always do that. I have this expectation that you're always supposed to reach out to me. And that's where I get in conflict with my sister, believe it or not. Because she always has to reach out to me. A 7 is very difficult. I ain't going to go into it because a lot of you may or may not be life path 7. But they can be very, very observed. And they can sit back and they can get, like, I just want to do everything by myself. Like, I love being by myself. And then people are saying, well, you don't ever reach out. You don't ever ask. You don't ever do. You know. But you've kind of got this energy of like, well, you don't ever do anything for me. You don't ever, you know, you don't do it for me. And then you're kind of like, I do it for you. I do everything for you. You don't see what I do for you. I pick you up. I take you here. I run you around. I take you in the car. I come and see you when you want me to. Yeah, but that's not enough. You don't do everything. And it's like, what do you mean I don't do everything? Of course I do. You've got this person that's codependent and lonely that wants you to do everything for them, which is carry the burden, carry the stress, carry the strain, carry their karma, which is where you know and you're like, listen, bruv, apparently, according to everybody, that we are the most, and I am one, we are the most intuitive sign. And listen, I tell you, but you don't listen anyway. And I'm trying to tell you that this is not good for you. But you might have an ex here that's saying, look, I'm telling you, they're no good for you. They're no good for you. Or you've got a mother here that's saying, they're no good for you. They're no good for you. Or someone is listening to all of this. No. This, no, they're no good for you. No, they're no good for you. That's no good for you at all. No, you don't want to do that. Or that's either a person, or it's physically someone saying it in their head. And they're going around and around in their head and going, no, they won't want to do that. No, they're not going to do that. No, they're not going to. And then, no, they won't. No, I know they won't. No. And they're like going through all of these no answers in their head. And it's this, I don't know, I really pick up that there's someone here that is so focused on losing everything that they have so much to lose. But really, if they've got nothing, then they're not losing anything. and you're really dealing with a depression of, I'm sorry Virgos, but again I really do pick up that someone here is so depressed and is so like, oh, every time do I start to try and do something, like I feel like I'm going to lose you, or like if you don't do this with me, then why don't you want to do it with me but you want to do it with them, or why is it that I can't, and why is it that you have everything and your life is perfect but mine's not? So why can't you have a perfect life with me? Well, that's the expectation. It's because you've got a very sensitive person here around you at the moment, Pisces, and they're it's kind of like that they want you to carry their burden, but they know that they don't want to put the burden on you. And they kind of know that they've got to go through this themselves, but they won't let it go. They won't drop it. So they've kind of gone AWOL, and they've gone off in order to try and find themselves or find something that they've lost. Trying to mend something and trying to fix what they've lost, right? And you've kind of got this person, while they're off there, they're kind of going off everything. It's like, I'm going off food, I'm going off drink, is this person like going through a cleanse or a detox or something? And they just seem to be going off everybody? Or everybody seems to be going off this, because whatever it is, it seems to be Rotten or Rotterdam, from Rotterdam, or Amsterdam, or like Rotten, like Sid Vicious, and we came up with it in another reading, and what do you call it, the Sex Pistols, right? And it's like, but everything's rotten, like it's like, it's kind of like this Scorpio energy feeling, right, of like, everything seems to be rotten and everything just seems to be like vicious and like, you know, unless you're called Sid or from Sydney, Australia, you could be from Sydney, but like Sydney, are you up there, Sydney? But like, it's just, it's such a rotten feeling, like this, it's depression, it really is. It's like this, well that's no good, that's not good either. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going to give you this, okay, it's like this, and I'll give you this game, and why don't you do that? No, I don't want to do that either. Yeah, okay, well, let's play a game then. No, I don't want to play that. What? It's like, me, for instance, this is not, I bought it myself, but me, for instance, I eventually bought myself a treat. Far Cry 5, right? And I don't play games that much, but this is so good and it is so difficult, but me, I just switch things like this on, or like my computer, and make music, or do this, and this is what keeps me, because I'm a male, bruv, you know. But has anybody ever played Far Cry 5? Yeah, it's kind of like, why don't you put that game on? Why don't you do that? And you're like, oh no. Or why don't you, you know, shall we go out? Shall we do it? No. Well, I don't know then. And you're like, well, no, I don't either. And you're like, oh my God, man, what is someone like physically going through the blues and twos? The police, I can see the blues and twos like an ambulance. Like, I don't know, what is this for? An ambulance. Because that's the blues and twos, that's either the police or an ambulance. So the police. So that's, what's his name? Out of the police. The name. Leon. So Leo, you've done the Leon's film. Yeah. Anyway, where are we going with this? So the first thing was Roland X, Jupiter X. There's competition and prizes to be won here. There's something to be won, but there is something to be lost. That's what I'm saying. Someone's going to lose and someone's going to win. Like completely lose and win. Now you're either going to court, or your name's Goodwin, or you have a very good win, and you have a very good windfall, and everything seems to happen, well, fall, Pisces. So it's kind of like, well, I have a very good win, I have a very good fall, I have a fall, I have another Pisces, someone has another Pisces, they have another place to go and visit, or they have another place to go and stay, or they have another fall, which is an elderly person that has, if they fell over, they fall, because it's like, and one fell over and then the other fell out, roll over. It's like, oh, let's just roll over and then fall out the bed, or fall out with Ted. Fallout? The Fallout. Oh, okay, you might be playing Fallout. So you might have a game that's Fallout. This could be your partner, I don't know, or people. But Fallout. Or F. Anything to do with F. Steph, F, FF. F and else, someone from China. Okay. Jupiter X. The X is back. They could have Jupiter in Capricorn. A win, winning, losing, Libra. Talking, trying to win you over. Like someone's trying to win you over but call you over. It's kind of like, well, I know that you know, and if you're psychic and everything else, then you're supposed to know. It's like, yeah, I do know. That's why I'm not doing it. That'd be me all day long. I know you're trying to get my attention. I know you're going through all of this, but you are going to have to do this yourself. And it's why I think this is like a child. Where it's like, I know that you know, and I am psychic and everything else, and I just know that you want my attention, and I know that you're trying to call me over, and I know that you're trying to call me to do this, and I know you're trying to call me. Now, if someone isn't calling, they just expect that you know that something's wrong with them, which you do. And you're like, well, I do know something's wrong with you, but I can't fix it. I physically cannot fix your depression. You've got to go and get help. Or you've got to go through this yourself. I can't do it for you. Right? Which is why I picked this up. This might be a child. And he's trying to win your attention. And he's trying to get your attention by doing things that there's no need for. And it came out through the extendeds of what we go through in a minute. Of some of the other signs. That someone is playing a mind game with someone that they're not even supposed to be playing a mind game with. Which means that this person's having a load of bad karma, right? Loads of things. They're going through personal growth. They're having a moment. And they're going through bad karma. So through that low vibration, this person then decides to start picking on and blaming a person that they have no reason to blame about it. Which is kind of like, tell her about it. Tell her everything you see. Right? It's like, tell her about it. Tell her everything that you see. Go on, tell her. Go on, go on. Go on, tell her. I mean, what's that? Go on, tell her everything. Go on, just explain to her. Go on, tell her everything. I don't know, I get people here. Go on, tell her then. Yeah, and there's 3 people here. Like, go on then, tell her. Tell her everything that you just see, and tell her everything that you just said. Everything that you just said to me, you tell them. I mean, what is this, the police? Or something? And it's like, go on, you see it, didn't you? It's like being called up for a witness, right? I want you to stand there and explain to me, or explain to them, exactly what it is that you've just said, or what I've just seen. You've kind of got that. Go on, tell her. Go on, tell her. Go on. This is like having to tell a boss. And it's like, go on then, if you've witnessed this and you've said it, go on then, say it. What did you say? Someone's intimidating someone, or trying to intimidate someone here, somewhere. I'm telling you, if you've seen this and you've heard it, then go on then, tell them. What did you see? That's a third party energy there. Or some kind of discrepancy of something of rights. So that's something else. But someone's playing a game that they don't need to play a game with. They're losing everything. So through that vibration, they decide to then pick on the person that's loyal to them, which is like Emily, or Loyal, or Laura, or Virgo. But like, I decided to pick on you why would you pick on me when I'm loyal to you? Why is it that I'm loyal to a fault and loyal to a T? So you've kind of got these very strange energies around Pisces, Virgo, Leo. But like, why is it that I'm loyal to you? But why is it that you then turn against me and say that it's me when I'm the one that's been here for you all the time? And this is like a friend or something? But like, how come that I'm loyal to a T to you, but then when shit goes off in your head and you start going off on one and going AWOL, why is it then all of a sudden you start using all of this stuff that's going on with you and your family and your karma and everything else? Why is it then that you start turning the energy around and focusing on me to blame me? And it's a very weird, strange sort of dynamic at the moment, Pisces. And it seems to be this ongoing thing that If it's happening now, it's going to be continuing on again. If it's happened once before, look at your patterns. If it's happened before and then it's now started to happen again, it's going to happen again. Because this person, whoever it is, doesn't like losing things and doesn't like it, because that's why it's like a childish energy, but they don't like losing stuff. Well, that's because you're going to gain a lot of things in the future when you understand about loss. You have to go through, you learn on the job, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, karmically. Life, that's the biggest thing ever. Life, you learn on the job. Is something I wrote a while back. Life, you learn on the job, right? So unless you go through it yourself, you're not going to learn anything about life. You're not going to learn anything about emotions, feelings, or anything. Spiritually, anything. If you don't do it, you don't learn. If you don't go through it, you don't learn, right? So you've kind of got this. If you don't go through that yourself, you are never going to learn. And if you don't, and you always do this to me, then you'll not learn a thing. You're still in the same spot and still in the same position as what you was last year or the year before. You're still doing the same thing on your own. So why do you want to be on your own for at Christmas? Or why do you want to be on your own? Why do you want to go it alone and do everything alone when you are alone? You're not gaining anything. You're losing everything. But this person is stubborn and arrogant enough to feel that doing it alone is through everybody abandoning this person, and their vibration is trying to show them that the people that are loyal, that keep backstabbing you, they're not the loyal ones. It's the people that have been loyal for you. This person then decides to turn on, and oh man, it's like a turn of. This is a Sagittarius Virgo placement. Bipolar energy. If you've got those placements, it's not bipolar, it's just your placement. Virgo, Sagittarius. Hot and cold, blowing hot and cold. 1 minute I'm up and everything is great, and the next minute, it's like a crash of, I don't know, like a sugar rush or something like that, or a false high of coffee or something. Stop drinking coffee. But also something I'm going through with weight disorder. But it's like a weight disorder, or like a anorexia or something, or like overindulgent in food, which is my one that I've got to look at. But it really just amounts to your placements, where they are in your chart, because it makes it more difficult for you. But say, for instance, you've got Virgo, Sagittarius. 1 minute you're up, the next minute you're down. 1 minute you're up, the next minute you're down. And you've got sort of like Libra sort of placements as well, and Air and Gemini. But like 1 minute you're up, the next minute you're down. 1 minute you're up, the next minute you're down. Okay, I'll come over and see you. Gemini energy, okay, now I'll leave. Or Cancerian, 7. Okay, I'll come over and see you. Okay, there you are. Okay, I'll come back. Okay, then I'll leave. Okay, then I'll come back. Okay, 1 minute you're up, next minute you're down. What are you, Jackal or Hyde? Are you having a good day or bad day? I'm having a bad day. Okay, well, I'll leave you. Right, okay, no, don't leave. People, take it out. I don't care about people. I'm looking at the energy, right? No, don't leave. Well, I thought that you know, what's the matter? Well, nothing, I just don't want you to go. And you're like, well, I've got stuff to do. I've got things, you know, I've got more important stuff to do. I'm in and out. I'm a 7, or I'm a Cancerian, and I'm floating, bruv. And I'm like, you know, I've got life. Yeah, but what's life without you? But, yeah, well, life itself. It's like, yeah, but so I'm got to do this. I can't attend to your need all the time. Oh, okay. So what do then? Play a game. And you're like, oh, man. So, see, I'm doing this, so I was doing in another reading, this like nervous energy that was in Virgo, like this can't sit still and like, oh, I don't know, because they're going to leave in a minute, or they're going to leave me, or are they going to leave me? Like if I say this, will they leave? Will they leave? Will they stay? Will they not stay? Will they go? Or Virgo, will they be with me? Will they not be with me? Will they? And this person is constantly going through everything that they don't want to happen in their head. And they're physically manifesting it as either one, witchcraft, or just natural. Just stuff like supernatural stuff of like, no, I don't want this to happen. No, I don't want that to happen either. No, because what if I say this, and then what if I and they're getting nervous, and then they're just actually making that mirror happen. Because that's manifesting. your most prominent thoughts that you think about all the time, you start to the only way you make that happen is by acting accordingly to what you've been thinking for a while. So if you constantly think for day in, day out, okay, I'm sitting here, man, I feel like a cup of coffee. I really want a cup of coffee. I want a cup of coffee. I really want a cup of coffee. Before you know it, you're watching the telly and you go, I want a cup of coffee. Okay, and you stop thinking, and you think, okay, I'm going to go and make one. And then you're drinking it and you think, oh, no, I actually told myself not to that I was going to try and stop drinking alcohol or smoking cigarettes. It's kind of like for ages you have a condition of me, I have a tin here and I try to keep it out of camera because I always leave it here. But I smoke, right? And it's here. And I'm kind of like, right, I'm going to stop smoking, 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 I don't want smoking, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it. And I leave it there like that, okay? And then I'm watching the TV or something like that, and then automatically I just go to the tin and I open it up and start rolling the cigarette, and I start smoking it. And halfway through I'm like, oh shit, I actually, I actually forgot that I wasn't, and you've kind of got this energy here of where there's temptation around that could be to do with your health, or I don't know, food, drink, alcohol, or stuff like that. And you're like, I'm really trying my best to stop doing this, and I really don't want to keep doing it. For yourselves, maybe. But you've got another person here, and they're kind of like in this energy of like, no, I don't want it. I don't want them to. Because you've got someone that's thinking about a person, as the other person is thinking about objects and things. Right, they're like, okay, I've got loads of objects, loads of stuff to do, blah, 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 and I'm very busy. And I might be trying to think about stopping smoking, stopping eating, all these kind of things, so I have to really restrict myself because I can't do it, okay? You've got another person here that's going through the, oh no, but what if they don't want me? What if that don't happen? And then what if they, like if I ask them but they don't say what I want them to say? Or what if I end up losing this person and they're not with me anymore? And then what? And they're going through the mental torture of feelings and emotions of like, what if I don't have a person? What if I don't have a place to live? What happens if I lose my job? What happens if I lose the person? If I lose the person and then I lose my job and then I lose my family and everything else and then I'm completely on my own, oh my God. And then they're like, and then you're like, well, I don't know what to do with you. I'm completely lost with the emotional, because I really pick up someone's in an emotional wreck here. Now, I don't know if it's around a Cancerian energy, whether that's a wreck or not. I don't know. Or down the wreck. The record. Discord. Man, I'm getting so jittery, but that's me anyway, 7. So, anyway, AWOL, whining, winning, losing, gaining everything, lost, because you won, I lost. Because you've got everything that you want, you must be, you have everything that you want and I don't. And if I don't, then I'm done. So the done is done. They're done. They're over. The done's done. If your name is Dunn or Stan, done, over, no, done. So there's something there. Don't know what that is. But it seems to be a lost. I lost. Some of you went, like you played too much of a game, or they did, and they seem to be losing the game. They gained things. It was this energy of where I had it all. But I had it all. And then all of a sudden, I lost everything. Like I don't have it all anymore. And I don't know what that is. If that's permanent, if that's a permanent fixture, or if it's just a thing that someone goes through, ghosts you. It's too confusing for me. I don't know. This person is an emotional wreck anyway, Pisces, whichever way it is. They seem to have lost a person or a thing or a personal, something very personal. They've took it very personal and they take it very personal. And I don't know. You're definitely not on the same wavelength with a few folk. So this is a bonus that goes on now to the full access bundle. If you want to join, if you're a constant member, this is another added thing that goes on. So this is your not a tarot reading. Your actual January tarot card reading itself will come out as normal towards the end of the month. But just as a bonus, I thought I would add things onto the Not a Tarot section and actually do people a tarot reading, but with different cards that are all guard yourself, block yourself, parents, finances, career, make a decision, emotional sensitivity, shield yourself, release, loads of other things, law of attraction, Laura, the name Laura is here, favourable outcome, decide to be happy, and then you've got yes, no, maybe, in a week's time, in a year's time, loads of other different stuff. We draw cards and then we pretty much clarify them all as an added bonus of things in January, but just a different way of looking at certain things. And then everything pretty much the same as it was before. But if you are on Patreon and you are on the full access bundle, this is the only place that you'll see this one. If you are, make sure that you download the app, because the app is what is confusing some people of joining and not being able to see it, because you have to sign in when you're over on Patreon with the same account that you've always signed in with. And if you join any of the tiers, you have to make sure that the tier that you join is the tier and the email and the password that you use every time, or you log it into your phone or computer to make sure that it knows that when you go over there that you've signed in and you get to see everything. Okay, so the best advice is to download the app, use the app for the notifications, and then as soon as you go on the app, it just remembers that you're actually a tier member. Okay, but you can find the link below, personal readings, all that sort of stuff. You can find a link for the life path readings as well. If you don't know what that is, there's a link there that will take you over and it will calculate it all for you, ready for the life path readings and stuff that comes out as well. Okay, that will be through January. But I am changing things up slightly. I'm also going to do a yearly reading and stuff like that, but I've got to decide when to do that. Okay, alright guys, thanks very much, and I'll hopefully see you over on Patreon.